Okay, Hima, you can start now. I have shared the screen. It is visible now?
Yes. Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay, you can start now. Wait, yeah, recording is started now. You have to interact with the
Ma'am, make it as
students.
full screen, ma'am. Ma'am, make it as full screen slideshow.
Yeah,
Slideshow is not
okay.
visible.
Yeah, okay. Hima and Indu, please interact with the students, okay?
Okay, ma'am.
Hmm.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Ima R of 6M ISC. I welcome you all for today for this placement activity. So today we are going to explain some basics concepts of C++. So before going into the topic, first let us know what is an C++. As you all know that C is a low level procedural and top down, and sometimes we can say that C++ is more better than C. So because C++ is a powerful general purpose programming language, it can be useful to develop operating systems, browsers, games, and many more. So the main thing here is that C++ is an object-oriented programming language. Why it is called so? Because C++ language views a problem in terms of objects involved rather than the processor for doing it. So as I said, it processor problems in terms of object. What are these objects and all? So there are some fundamental features in C++. So let us discuss what are those fundamental features. So the fundamental features are class, objects, encapsulation, data abstraction, inheritance, and polymorphism. So let us brief out these topics one by one. So next is the first one is the class. So in C++, classes is like a blueprint for an object. It is a user-defined data type which holds its own data members and member function which can be accessed and used by creating an instance of this class. So to make more clear about what are those data members and member function, we'll consider an example of bike. So in bike, there will be different types of bikes and different names and different brands of the bike. But all of them will share some same properties, like all of them will having two wheels, speed limit, number of gears, mileage, etc. So here bike is a class and speed limit, mileage are the data members, and member functions are how you'll apply the brake, I mean, and at what time, and what's the speed you are going when you're applying the brake. So what are the functions you are going to perform on the bike, no, that is the member function. And what are the those what they say, number of wheels, the gas, the mileage that gives in the bike, they are all the data members. So this is the what exactly the class is. So how we are going to declare the class, define the class means we'll use the keyword class which is followed by the name of the class. So inside the curly braces we declared the body, and that means we will define the body, and which is ended with the semicolon. So this is about the class. Next, move to the object. So here object, it is an instance of a class. When a class is defined, no memory is allocated, but when it is initialized, memory is allocated. That means without the class, object is object we cannot define, or without object, just by creating a class, it's not useful only. So for example, in as I said earlier, inside the class you are going to declare the data members and the member function. So just by declaring, memory is not allocated. By taking the reference of a class, we'll create an object for that class. So by using the object, we'll create, you are going to assign values to those data members, and by using the object you will call the data member function. So once you call or initialize values to that data, that time the memory is allocated. That was it says. See, in the declaration of an object, when a class is defined, only the specification for an object is defined. Previous slide, ma'am. Yeah. See, when a class is defined, only the specification object is defined. This memory is not allocated and storage is also not allocated for it. So to use the data and access the function defined in a class, we need to create an object for that. So unless you create an object to the class, nothing is going to, or any action is not performed. So the syntax for object is class name, that is followed by the object name. So here the object is user defined, or whatever the name you want to give, you can give the name to that object. So based on these classes and object, let's see some example. Okay. here is the example for this. So here main thing hash include iostream.h. This is a header file, input output stream using namespace standard. So namespace means, for example, there cannot be two variables with the same name in the same scope. So we can create two variables or the member functions having the same name in by creating or by using this namespace function, namespace standard. So once you use this namespace standard in the main, I mean after this what they'll say header file, so no need to call or no need to use namespace again and again in the entire program. Once you declare, that's enough, and for all the cout thing it will be applied. So here the name of the class we declared has the room. So inside the class, as I said, there will be data members and the member function. So for the data member, we have declared the access specifier as the public, and members are like length, breadth, and height. We declared the data type as double, the double which carries 8 bytes, and the data member function is double calculate area, means we are performing some function or some any operation we are going to do here inside the function. This is nothing calculation here, just a multiplication, length into breadth, we are returning that value. So before going to that, we'll see the main here. So execution of the program starts from the main. So to the class called room, to that room we have created an object here called room1. As I said, this is a user defined one. So to this room1, as I said earlier, without just by declaring the values or the data members, memory is not created. See here, room1 dot length is equals to, we are assigning values. So once we assign the values, the memory is created or assigned to that length variable. So for length, breadth, and height, we assign some values. So in cout, area of room equals. So whatever you have written inside the double quotes, that will be printed as it is in the output screen. So room1 dot calculate area. Once you use this line room1 dot, by using the object room1, you call the data member function, means that time the memory is allocated. So once it is allocated or once it is called, it goes to the function called calculate area. In that calculate area, we are going to perform the multiplication length into breadth, like 42.5 into 30.8. Whatever the multiplication results will come, that will be written. So next, after that, cout volume of room is equals to, it will be same as it is printed. So room1 dot calculate volume. So here it goes to the function called calculate volume. So here the operation performed is length into breadth into height. All those three, whatever the values we assigned, that will be multiplied and that value will be returned. So this is how the code runs. So here the main intention of this program is to make you clear how the class and the object works, not about the multiplication. There's nothing in this program, it's just a multiplication. So main intention of this code is to make you clear that how the class work, how it is declared, and the object. So the output of this program is, yeah, area of room is equals to 1309, and the volume of the room is 25,132.8. So this is about the class and the object. So let's move on to the other fundamental features, that is encapsulation. So here encapsulation is defined as wrapping up of data and information under a single unit. In object-oriented programming language, encapsulation is defined as binding together data and the function that encapsulate them. That means we can bind both the data and the members in a single unit. Consider an example of capsule. As you'll see capsules. So in capsule, the different materials or the chemicals will be embedded into the capsule. So here materials are bind and it is hidden to the external world. So to access those variables, we are using the access specifiers here. So there are two main important steps in this encapsulation. One is all the data members which you are using inside by using encapsulation, all the data members should be declared as the private access specifiers, and all the members should be declared as the public access specifier. So if the data members, if you are not declared any of the access specifier, means by default it will be considered as the private. But it is mandatory that you, not mandatory. So if you want to declare, means you should declare as a public. If you don't, means it by default it will be declared as the private for the data members. Okay, by using this we'll see one example. Next. Yes. So here is the example for encapsulation. We have used the header file, input output stream, and using namespace standard. The name of the class we have taken as encapsulation. As I said, the data member should be declared as private and the member function should be declared as public. So in the main function, the execution of the program starts from the main. So for this class called encapsulation, to that encapsulation, we have created an object. The name of the object itself we have taken as object itself. By using the object dot set of, we have there passed the parameters. So we are passing the parameter value as 5. So once the object is called, it goes to the main function there called set, void set int of the value of int a. The value of a is 5. A value is assigned to x here inside the code. Yeah, inside the program. Yeah. So x, a value is assigned to x. So next, after that, C out in the main function, C out object got get off. That means we are there calling again the get function here. So inside the get function, we are returning the value x. Inside the set function, the a value is assigned to x. The value of x will be 5. So the same x will be returning inside the get function. Hence the output will return 5. Yeah, the output will return is 5. So this is all about the classes, objects, and the encapsulation. So let's move on to the quiz part. Yeah, here is the quiz part. So what is the difference between structure and classes in C++? So the options are: option A, all members of a structure are public and structures don't have constructors and destructors. Option B, members of a class are private by default and members of a structure are public by default. When derive a structure from a class or a struct, default access specifier for a base class or a structure is public, and when deriving a class, default access specifier is private. Option C, all members of a structure are public and structure don't have virtual function. Option D, all of the above. So I request, can I ask anyone, or can I expect anyone to answer this question? Anyone?
Yes, please read out the question. Just go through the options. Try to give the answer. 6th or 4th semester students. See the attendance, it is only 45.
Okay. Shall I say the answer? So the answer is option B. The answer is option B. Members of a class are private by default and members of a structure are public by default. When they derive a structure from a class or struct, default access specifier for a base class is public, and when deriving a class, default access specifier is private. That means here the security matters. There is nothing much different between a structure and a class. The most important is the security. For structure is not secure and cannot hide its implementation details from the end users, while classes is secure and hence it can hide the details from the end users. So this is the difference. So hence the answer is option B. Next question. Okay, the answer is displaying here. Fine. Predict the output of following C++ program. Here we are using header files and using namespace. So the class name we are called as the empty. So inside the main function, see out size of empty and returns the value 0. See, inside the class, we are not define any data members or the member function. Just it's empty. So here the question is, what is the size of that empty? That means the size of the empty class. So the options are option A, non-zero value, option B 0, option C compiler error, option D runtime error. So the answer is option A, because by default the empty class or the structure, by default it will be a 1 byte. So once you call any class without any data members or member function, the default value of that class will be 1 byte. Okay, next question. So predict the output of the following C++ code. Class test int hex inside the main function test t. To that test, we have created an object called t. See out t.x and return 0. So the options are 0, garbage value, and compiler error. So the answer is compiler error, because as I said, by default the access specifier is set as private. Since private member cannot be accessed out of the class, so once you are calling that value outside the class, it is not, as you declare it as a private, we cannot access them. So the value, the answer, the output what you'll get is the compiler error.
One second.
Yes.
What happened to our 4th semester students? At least ಕೆಲವೊಬ್ಬರಾದ್ರೂ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಿದ್ರು. ಸಿಮ್ರನ್, ವಿನಯ್, ಆರುಷಿ, Gautami, Divya. At least you people were giving the answers, no? In the previous activities. What happened this time? You don't know basics of C++? ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ ನಿಮಗೆ? ಚೆನ್ನಾಗೇ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ತೀನಿ. ಯಾಕೆ ಏನು ಯಾರು ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಿಲ್ಲ? ವಿನಯ್ ಇದೆಯಾ?
ಎಸ್ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್.
ಹಾ, ಮತ್ತೆ ಫಾಲೋ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ಯೋ ಇಲ್ವೋ? ವಿನಯ್, ದಿವ್ಯಾ, ಆರುಷಿ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಇದ್ದೀರಿ ನೀವುಗಳು. ಏನಾಗಿದೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ? ಯಾಕೆ ಯಾರು ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಿಲ್ಲ? ಅಮೂಲ್ಯ
ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೀನಿ.
ಹಾ, ದೀಕ್ಷಾ, they are your classmates, no? You have to interact with them. What happened? See, you people have to talk. At least try to give the answer. You just tell whether it is option A, option B. Yes, Diksha? ಏನಾಯ್ತು? ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಿಲ್ಲ.
ಓಕೆ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್.
ಪ್ಲೀಸ್, ಇರೋದೇ 45 ಜನ. ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಇಂಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ವಾ? ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಬೆಟರ್ ಇತ್ತಪ್ಪ ಅದು.
Everyone got clear with this question?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Then I'll the next part. Next question. So which of the following cannot be passed to a function C++? It's a direct question. So because of some issues, answers also displaying. The options are constant, structures, array, and header file. Yeah, the option is Answer D, header file. Header file, we cannot pass it as a parameter to a function. Not only in C++, in any other programming language, we cannot pass the header file as a parameter. So next question. So fifth one, iostream.h. It is a header file, namespace, class pointer. In the main function for that pointer, we are hello.
Hima,
See,
Am I
ma'am.
audible?
yes, what happened?
Am I audible, ma'am?
Oh, yes, yes,
Hi.
yes.
Yeah.
Audible.
Okay. Okay. Inside the main to that class name called point, we have created the object to that class name called T1. So inside the class point of function, we are putting some cout function here. Cout constructor call. So we are returning 0. So can anyone guess the output of this? The options are compiler error, runtime error, and construction call. Yes,
Runtime
anyone?
error.
It's easy. Yeah, can you explain?
Because object is not declared.
Object we are declared, no? For the class called pointer, we are declared the object as point T1. The answer is correct.
ಪಬ್ಲಿಕ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ಬೇಕಲ್ವಾ ಅದು?
Yeah. See, as I said, the member functions or the data members private with the public ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದೆ. So ಅಲ್ಲಿ public ಅನ್ನ I have not mentioned the access specifier as public. So the answer is compile time error. Next question. Ma'am, that's it, ma'am. This is wrong question. Yeah, this is all about the class object and the constructor. So next, the fundamental features will be continued.
Thank you, Hima. Ma'am, please go to the slide data abstraction. Okay. This is introduction itself. I'll be continuing the next part of some of the basic concepts of C++. First one is data abstraction. Abstraction means displaying only essential information and hiding the details. Here, data abstraction refers to providing the essential information to the outside world, hiding the other information like the background details or the implementation of the code. It gives some of the advantage like class internals are protected by unintentional user level errors. And another advantage is like if anybody can change the implementation code, means they can change that code without changing the user level code. So let's take an example. Okay, this is the example. Hash include IO string. This is for input and output purpose. And next is there is a class called implement abstraction in which A and B are declared in a private access specifier. In public, we are declaring two methods or two.
Indu,
Yes, ma'am.
ವಾಯ್ಸ್ ತುಂಬ ಬ್ರೇಕ್ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ ನಿಮ್ಮದು.
Hello.
ಯುವರ್ ವಾಯ್ಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಬ್ರೇಕಿಂಗ್. ಇಂದು ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾಗಿರೋ ಪೊಸಿಷನ್ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಕುತ್ಕೊಳ್ತೀಯ ನೋಡಿ, ನೆಟ್ವರ್ಕ್ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿರೋ ಕಡೆ. ತುಂಬ ಡಿಸ್ಟರ್ಬೆನ್ಸ್ ಅನಿಸ್ತಿದೆ.
ಈಗ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್
ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ನಿಧಾನ ಹೇಳು, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ವಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್ ನೀನು ಕಡಿಮೆ ಮಾಡು. ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಆಮೇಲೆ ಜೋರಾಗಿ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ದೆ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಬ್ರೇಕ್ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ, ತುಂಬ ಕಿವಿಗೆ ಅಪ್ಪಿಸ್ದಂಗೆ ಅನಿಸ್ತದೆ.
ಓಕೆ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್.
ಓಕೆ, ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂ.
ಓಕೆ, ಸ್ಲೈಡ್ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್. Okay. This is a class called implement abstraction. Here we are declaring two variables A and B, which is in private, and two methods or functions set int x and int y. In set function, x is assigned to A, y is assigned to B. In display function, we are displaying some message. Okay. In main method or in main part, we are declaring one object of implement abstraction. After calling set into 10, set 10 or 20, it is go to the set int x and int y. So 10 is assigned to A and 20 is assigned to B. After calling display function, the message is displayed. So the output is A is equal to 10, B is equal to 20. Okay. So we will go to the next next slide now. Okay. Next property is inheritance. It is the ability of the class to derive properties and characteristics from another class. We have subclass and superclass. Subclass is like a child class in which it inherits the property of the parent class. Superclass is like a parent class, or it is also called as base class, in which properties are inherited by the subclass. Here we have the syntax. Class, it is the keyword. Subclass, you should mention the name of the subclass, and access mode, you have to mention private or public, and base class name, you have to mention the base class name of the parent class, and after that you can implement your code. So let's see the example. Okay, this is the example. We have two classes. One is parent class, another one is child class. In parent class, we have IDC, which is of integer type, which is in public. Okay, in child class, it is inherits the parent class, in which we have one variable which is of integer type, that is IDC. Okay, in the main class, we have the object of child class. By using this child class only, we can assign the value for both the parent and child. So here we have assigned 7 for the for IDC, which is in child class, and 91 for IDC, which is in the parent class. So this is the use of inheritance. Okay, see. The output is child class is 7 and parent child ID is 7, parent ID is 91. Okay. Next. Okay. This is the next property, that is polymorphism. The word polymorphism means having many forms. In programming language like C++, polymorphism means that it allows the object to behave differently in different conditions. If I take an example, you will understand properly. The benefit is one can reuse the code, and it saves the time a lot, and it is very easy to debug the code. There are two types of polymorphism. One is compile time polymorphism, another one is runtime polymorphism. Function overloading and operator overloading is the perfect example for the compile time polymorphism, and function overriding is the best example for the runtime polymorphism. Okay, let's take an example. Here one class is there called Zeeks. We have defined three functions. One is function int x, another one is function double x, and another one is a function int x comma int y. In all these functions, we are displaying some message. Value of x is like in this function, we are declaring one object obj1. If we call the function like obj1 dot function 7, 7 is integer type of value, so it goes to the first function, that is void function int x. If I call a function, it is function void function double x, like that. If I call third function, it will be function int x comma int y. So the output is value of x is 7, value of x is 9.132, value of x is 86 comma 64, like this. Okay, let's move. Ma'am, from 7th quiz. Okay. Predict the output of the following. Here, hash include IO stream using namespace std. There is 3 classes is there. One is base 1, another one is base 2, and next one is a derived class. Derived class derives both base 1 and base 2 classes. In base 1 class, declare char c. In base 2, int c is there. And in third class, we have one function which displays value of c. Okay. In the main function, we are created an object for derived class and call the function show. So you can predict the answer. The options are compile error in cout C, garbage value, compiler error in class derived public base 1, public base 2. Can anyone say? Can anyone say?
Option
Hello?
C.
Wrong. Think again. Okay. I will say the answer. Option A.
Option
Compiler error in S in the Simran?
ಹಾಗ
ಏನು ಅಂದೆ?
ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಎ ಅಂದೆ.
Correct. Option A is right. Because here in base class we are declaring character C, and in okay, here we are declaring character type of C, and in base 2 we are declaring integer type of. So the compiler will get confused with C it should display. So this is the compiler error. Okay. So next question. Okay. This is the you predict the hash include IO stream. Here one function is defined, that is int function int is equal to 0, int is equal to 0. In the main function, inside the cout, we are calling the function, that is function of y. Next line, we are defining the function int of function of int of x comma int y, and return the sum of x plus y. So Option A is compiler error, B is 5, C is 10, C is 0, D is 10. Can anyone?
Option B.
Okay. Option B, 5. Right. Can you explain this?
Cout function phi, it will pass the parameter phi, and int is equal to x, it will int is equal to 0, it will for y it will be 0.
Exactly. So after calling function phi means 5, 0, that is x is equal to 5, y is equal to 0. So 5 plus 0 is equal to 5. So the answer is 5. So next question. Okay, how can we restrict dynamic allocation of the objects of a class? How can we restrict the allocation of the objects by using new? Option A, by overloading the new operator. Option B, by making an empty private new operator. Option C, by making an empty private operator. Or by overloading a new array operator. Can anyone? Can you understand the question or not?
Just try to read out the question once again. Try to give the answer. Only few people are interacting with the Indu Lakshmi. Arushi, Divya, Simran. Vinay. Not Divya. Divya, Papa ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಆರಾಮಾಗಿ ನಿದ್ದೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಿರ್ಬೇಕು mostly. Divya?
No, ma'am.
You are there, no?
Yes, ma'am.
See the question. Guess the answer.
Can anyone? Okay. Option C is right. By using private and new array operator, we cannot declare any object inside the class or outside the class. So next question. This is the direct question. You can answer. Which of the following operators cannot be global? That is, must be a member function. They are asking which operator cannot be a global operator. Okay. Option A, new. B, delete. C, conservation operator. D, all of. Can anyone?
Option Indu. Third option ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ದೆ ನೀನು?
Conservation operator.
What you have written?
Sorry, conversion operator. Sorry. Okay, can anyone?
Conversion operator.
Is correct. New and delete can be used in a global operator, used as a global operator, but conversion operator must be used in member function. Okay. Next question. Which of the following in object-oriented programming is supported by function overloading and default argument features of C++? I have explained this. They are asking in C++, which feature supports the function overloading and default argument feature? Option A, inheritance. option B, polymorphism, option C, encapsulation, option D, none of the above.
Polymorphism.
Yes. Polymorphism is the right answer because it supports operator overloading and overriding and default argument features. Okay, next question. Madam, this is wrong question. That's it not. Thank you for this patient listening. Thank you.
Okay. So I don't know how many of you follow or not. I think you know all these basics of C++ programming language. Correct? I am asking the 4th semester students. Okay. But many of you were not interacting with the Hima and Indu Lakshmi. Okay. ಸೊ ನೀವು ಸಿ ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಬೇಸಿಕ್ಸ್ ನಿಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ ಅಥವಾ ನಿಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲದೆ ಇದ್ದರೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪನಾದರೂ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ನಾನು ಅವರಿಗೆ ಪ್ರಿಪೇರ್ ಆಗೋಕ್ಕೆ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೆ, ಬಟ್ ನೀವು ಇಂಟ್ರ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಲ್ಲ ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ. ಓಕೆ ಓಕೆ, ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಇಂದು ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಹಿಮಾ. ರಿಯಲಿ ದ ಸೆಷನ್ ವಾಸ್ ಗುಡ್.
ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಮ್ಯಾಮ್.
ಓಕೆ ಓಕೆ, ಲೆಟ್ ಅಸ್
ಅದೇ ಪ್ರಿಪ್ರೇಷನ್ ವಾಸ್ ಗುಡ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಹಿಮಾ ಅಂಡ್ ಇಂದು. ಕಂಟೆಂಟ್ ವೈಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಬ್ರೀಫ್ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು, ರಿಲೇಟೆಡ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಪ್ರಿಪೇರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು. ದೇ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟೆಡ್ ದ ಟೈಮ್ ಇನ್ ಅ ಗುಡ್ ವೇ ವಿತ್ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಇನ್ವಾಲ್ವ್ಮೆಂಟ್. ಹಿಮಾ ಅಂಡ್ ಇಂದು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿತ್ತು ಪ್ರಿಪ್ರೇಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲ ಮೇಡಮ್?
ಹೌದು, ತುಂಬಾ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿತ್ತು.
ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಸರ್.
ಎಸ್, ಇಟ್ ವಾಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಯೂಸ್ಫುಲ್ ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ. ಆಶಾ ಮೇಡಮ್ ಹೇಳ್ದಂಗೆ 4th ಸೆಮ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ರಿವಿಷನ್ ಆದಂಗೆ ಆಗ್ತಿತ್ತು, ಮತ್ತೆ ಅದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಟ್ರೈ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಇಂಟ್ರಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಇದ್ದಿದ್ರೆ ಇನ್ನು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಆಗ್ತಿತ್ತು. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ MCQs ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅಥವಾ ಏನೋ ಆಪ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಡ್ ರೌಂಡ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ, ಟೆಕ್ನಿಕಲ್ ರೌಂಡ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ಈ ತರದ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಬಟ್ ಎನಿವೇ, ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡೋರಿಗಂತೂ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್ ಅಪರ್ಚುನಿಟಿ ಟು ಮೇಕ್ ದೆಮ್ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ಪರ್ಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಟು ಇಂಪ್ರೂವ್ ದ ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಕೇಶನ್ ಸ್ಕಿಲ್ಸ್, ಅಂಡ್ ದೇ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಡನ್ ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್ ಜಾಬ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ದೇರ್ ಸೈಡ್. Asha madam ಹೇಳಿತರ again the same, it is better for the students who involve, interact and learn from these type of sessions. Okay, good Hima and Indu.
ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಅಮಿತ್ ಪ್ರತಿ ಸಾರಿ ಎಕ್ಸಿಕ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ತೋರಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು ಇವರು ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ. ಈ ಸರಿ ಇಂದು ಹಿಮಾ ಲ್ಯಾಪ್ಟಾಪ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಆಗಿದೆ, ಇಂದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ನೆಟ್ವರ್ಕ್ ಸೈಡ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಅವರು ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ಶೇರ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಇಲ್ಲದ್ರೆ ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸಿಕ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ಚೇಂಜಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ಎಕ್ಸಿಕ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ತೋರಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು ಅವರು.
Okay, nice.
Okay, Indu, Hima, thank you very much. Okay, let us end the session now. Let us end the meeting. Thank you all. You can leave the meeting now. Quiz form share ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ, answer ಮಾಡಿ. Okay, all of you.
Okay, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay.
Yes, ma'am.